Me, I didn't go to any college, but I know what makes a good story, because before I ever worked on a paper, I sold them on a street corner. And you know the first thing I found out? Bad news sells best. Because good news is no news. Better get some gas.
We seem to be hearing a lot of sentimental, high-minded talk about newspapers these days, maybe because they're on the verge of extinction. They're the oxygen of democracy. They perform a high and noble civic function. But there's a cynical, more jaundiced view on display in Billy Wilder's great film, Ace in the Hole.
Now, isn't that something?
Now, this is a Billy Wilder film, which means it walks a fine and crooked line between sharp satire and pitch-black film noir. All the people in this movie are out for themselves, especially Chuck Tatum, a hard-driving journalist played by Kirk Douglas.
I've only one chance to get back where I belong. To land a job on a small-town paper like yours and wait and hope and pray for something big to break. Something I can latch on to.
Tatum finds his big scoop in an unlikely place, a mountain somewhere in New Mexico, where a guy named Leo has gone hunting for Indian treasure to sell at his roadside stand and gotten himself buried.
Everybody wants to see how you look. And I'm going to write a story. They want to know all about you. They'll be pulling for you.
How do you like that? Me in a paper.
Tatum conspires with the guy's wife and with the corrupt local sheriff to prolong Leo's rescue and turn his plight into a media circus.
Re-elect Sheriff Kretzer.
When it first came out, Ace in the Hole was something of a flop, in spite of the fact that Billy Wilder and Kirk Douglas were both at the height of their fame.
This is Tatum speaking. Get me Mr. Boot and make it fast.
It's taken more than 50 years, but the world has finally caught up with this movie's dark and cynical vision. Perhaps because what with the internet and the 24-hour cable news cycle, the extraordinary media frenzy that Wilder depicted has become daily reality.
This is the fifth night the big drill has been pounding and grinding its way toward Leo. The rescue workers are now only 26 feet away. At the rate they are going, they should reach Leo by this time tomorrow night. So after 129 hours of being buried alive, at last freedom seems in sight.
But this movie cuts even deeper and seems almost chillingly up to date. It's not just about how the media takes trivial events and blows them out of proportion. It's more about how some journalists, as we've seen in recent cases like Jessica Lynch, Joe the Plumber, the Tea Party protests, distort, falsify, stage manage real events. Ace in the Hole is about someone whose job it is to uncover the truth, to tell the truth, but who chooses instead to bury the truth.